Well, if you couldn't already tell, we had a wildfire. And, before I get into, all the details, how it's kind of suspicious, okay, not kind of, very suspicious on how this fire started and how it wasn't prevented, I want to thank the first responders, the firefighters, the sheriffs, the neighbor down the hill that called us in, because we had no idea this was going on. Surprising enough, the wind was blowing funny, it was dark. We were asleep. Start with the timeline of this whole event. So it was 11:37 at night, and the power goes out. Just TV clicked off, the internet went off, power's out, and it wasn't a planned power outage, which is, went to bed, and then 5:30 the next morning, my aunt and uncle were banging on our door, woke us up, we went and saw them, and they told us the ranch was on fire. We'll get into it later. There wasn't actually a fire at 11:37. We didn't see any smoke, nothing. Didn't hear the fire trucks, anything. It got called in at 5. The fire trucks were out here about 5:30, getting everything already put out, started to. When they got here, it was about 5 acres. It was slow moving, but within like another 30 minutes, it doubled in size, went to about a dozen acres. So when we finally came down this hill, because we were wondering, is there even a fire out here? Or what's the deal? We didn't even see or hear or smell anything. So we came down the hill, and just, boom. I'll pop up some actual pictures that happened when we got there, actual footage from this. I'll pop it up throughout the video of what it looked like. So there was just fire trucks absolutely everywhere, lights, fire, smoke. It was just, an absolute nightmare. We, as it looked, because this is pretty much the middle of our property here, so as it looked like it burned all the way from the road, because that's usually how these fires starts, because we've had them start before from the road, but they don't get very far, and they never get anywhere close to houses or anything. This time, they got very close to 2 of our houses, within probably a good 100 yards in either direction, and we got very lucky. That day was literally the coldest day of the entire month, the most humidity, because, even today is 90 degrees. Even right now, there's more of a breeze than there was on the day of the fire. If it would have been, as hot as today, as dry as today, because when the fire happened, it was extremely humid for, no reason. So the fire could have gone much, much worse. If it was actually, today when it was burning, it would have burned hundreds and hundreds of acres. It would have burned us, our other neighbors, our other neighbors. It would have burned several houses. It could have been absolutely horrible. But it wasn't, But at the end of the day, there was definitely negligence involved. And I'll get into that a little bit later. Essentially, the first reports of seeing fire or whatever was 4 something in the morning or whatever. Because, I pop up video of the cameras around showing the flames and stuff. But there was absolutely nothing until 4:30, 4 to 5. That's when it essentially started. And keep in mind, the power was off from 11:37, 4:30 to 5. Kind of coincidental, if you ask me, that the power went off. There was no fire. There's no way from 11:30 at night to 5 o'clock in the morning the fire did absolutely nothing. There is no way that it started at 11:37 at night, because I checked the ridge, I looked, because you could have saw somebody out walking around out here with a candle and didn't see it. It's actually what caused this fire. And I still scratch my head just wow, that's just crazy. So this little guy right here, if you don't know what this is a mylar balloon. Essentially, it's those shiny balloon deals you get that are filled with helium, stuff like that. This was not the one that started the fire. The one that started the fire was a giant cluster of pink balloons. But this one I found about 2 days before the fire, just walking around, because we get these damn things everywhere, all around the ranch. We probably pick up 50 of these things a year, because people, they let them go, and they think, well, Where could this ever go? Well, guess what? Wind exists, and what goes up must come down. So just because you let it go wherever you are, doesn't mean you're not going to have to deal with it. But guess what? Who has to deal with it? We have to deal with it. We've lost cows to this. They eat them, and they die. Guess what? Now, we've had one go in a power line and start a fire. A balloon got in the power line, and also, just to give you a little better idea, so we have a giant transmission line coming through the middle of our property here, and I'll pop up some pictures and stuff of what that looks like. And essentially, so a transmission line, it has three top wires primarily that are like big, like 120 kV, like big for like cities and stuff like that. And then there's 3 wires below that, which are distribution wires, which go to like our houses, you know, smaller communities and just like houses here and there. They call them tap-offs or the underbuild. And so essentially the balloon, I can't tell for sure, but it may have nicked the top line. We're not sure about that, but it definitely hit the bottom 2, the far right 2 distribution lines, and it arced it instantly, because these things are actually, they're metal, which is, it makes sense. They are metal, you know, it's going to arc, you know. It melted part of it at 11:37 because that's when the power went out. So this thing floated in from wherever, hit the line at 11:37 at night, tripped the power. So I think like 500 people lost power or whatever. So it tripped the power went off, and I've heard that the power company, provider, whatever, like when something gets stuck in the line, they send like they turn the power back on briefly or something like that to see if whatever's still in the line is still in the line. And I'm not sure if they did that or not. So right off the bat, just so you know, the power company, provider, whatever, has been just worthless. They haven't talked to us. They haven't done anything about this. They came out right after the fire started. This place was still burning. They came out with their truck. They looked at the line. They said, looks okay, and they left. They weren't like, there was no investigation, because they assumed it was just the balloon that started the fire, because the balloon is not their fault. They did not do the balloon. But here's my problem with all this. The fire didn't start at 11:37 at night. It didn't. There's no way. We talked to the firefighters. They made a report. They did an investigation. It did not happen at 11:37 at night. It didn't. The balloon hit the line at 11:37 and tripped the power. And, you know, I'm sure there was sparks and shit like that, but it didn't actually start this fire. It may have started maybe a little and then went out, but it did not do this in that amount of time, because it would have 6 hours, 5 hours. It would have, no. It's not possible, and that's not what happened. So at 4 to 4:30 in the morning, the balloon, because it hit, I'll pop up pictures in a video, where it hit the 2 insulators. It's a giant pink balloon. It hit it and it melted. So my theory and everybody else's theory, the investigators, it hit the line, tripped the power, and here's the problem. It was stayed in the line. That whole time it was in the line when the power's off. And when the power goes off, there's big fire risk, all of that. They're supposed to check the line. If it's not a planned outage, they check the line. They're supposed to check every inch of line, and they could have whittled it down, narrowed it down pretty good to where they thought it could trip. Because there's a big fire danger in here. You think they would have checked or they would have looked. Because if somebody did, they would have been like, oh, that's a big problem. There's a balloon in the line, and there's sparks or there's a fire, you know, something like that. They never came out. They never checked. That's on them. So guess what they did at 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the morning? They turned the power back on. And guess who was still on the line? Your friend the balloon. And guess what happened? And then what? We have a fire. Because they didn't properly check the line. They didn't do the precautions. They didn't give a shit. And they just flicked the power back on. And then this. You know, like, yeah, nobody was hurt. Nothing was, no houses were damaged. But this is good feed. We run cattle, and this is prime feed. Was prime feed, you know, but they haven't reached out, you know. Hey, can we get you guys some seed, or, you know, because they think it wasn't their fault, and it was. They know it was. And we're gonna get in contact with them, and it's gonna be a definite battle. But it's essentially, it's bullshit. Where these damn balloons, do not let them go. Don't let them float away. Birthday party. This one was obviously 4th of July, I would presume. Don't let them go. Don't buy them. They need to be outlawed. Okay. okay? This is a message for the world. Outlaw these mylar balloons, period. It's even better because that pink balloon, you know, pink balloon, pink, blue, you guess what? Probably a stupid gender reveal. So somebody's stupid gender reveal started another stinking fire. So, you know, whoever you are out there, you know, you let giant pink balloons go, you know, woo, yay! You started a fire, okay? You know who you are. If anybody ever sees it, whatever, you know, they'll probably never find out. But you're a loser, okay? Straight up. It's littering, it's literally littering. It could have gone much worse, though. Much, much worse. We're thankful it didn't, but, you know, if the proper precautions were just taken from the beginning, from the get-go, and people weren't just stupid and lazy to go check the line, I mean, that's your job. It's not like they don't get paid. They get paid. You come out here at 4 o'clock, you know, they didn't it's not like we didn't let them in. They didn't contact us. They didn't do anything. They just, power went off, they flicked it back on, and we have a fire. Don't let these balloons go. Whatever you do, please, try not to even buy them, but if you do buy them, just throw them away, put them in the trash. Don't litter, don't let them fly away, because we've had cows eat these and die. It's just sad and disappointing all the way around. We're going to clean this all up, and, you know, if they don't buy seed, we're going to buy seed. It's, you know, we're not going to just let it go, because we don't do that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you took away something from this video. I hope you tell others, you share it with others. And that's our wildfire.